So bad, Bruce Campbell wouldn't even put his name on it. I'm Justin.
Hey, watch your ass. I'm Sam, and this is 1995's The Demolitionist on Stinker Madness.
What's that smell?
I don't know about you, but I'm thirsty as fuck. Thirsty as fuck.
Hey, look at me!
Thrill me.
If you come back in here, I'm gonna hit you with so many rights, you're gonna beg for a left.
Thrill me.
Beg for a left.
Thrill me.
Hey, look at me!
No more hangers!
It stinks.
Hangers!
Get to the chopper! Stinker Madness.
Hello, welcome to Stinker Madness, a podcast that's on the TVs and the radios. I'm your host, Justin. With me this week is Sam, as usual. Jackie has decided to skip this episode because she doesn't like Nicole Eggert, and also she had to distract our child from me being able to say things like fuck and shit and piss and crap. And I got in trouble for saying crap 2 days ago. Like, I can't say crap now.
We should actually mention that I have lived a life of successfully not swearing in front of children until last week when I said fuck instead of in front of your son.
That's all right. We also went to Comic-Con on Saturday, and there was 3 teenage girls just dropping the F-bomb all over. They're like, oh my fucking God. Oh my fucking God. That just one just kept saying, oh my fucking God. Teenage girls. Anyways, speaking of teenage girls, Nicole Eggert in The Demolitionist. She was probably 30.
She was probably 30 by this point. She was. I got numbers on her age, because really all I'm going to talk about is the director and her. Mm-hmm. In terms of because everybody is in this movie.
Yeah.
Like the who's who of B movies is in this movie. Yeah. That's a better way to put it.
Well, 4 of them.
So how is it that for $1 million you get all of these people in this movie?
All of these people. Like Richard Grieco.
All of these people.
Oh yeah, he's got a hefty price tag.
Well, okay, fine. So the guy that Richard Grieco is the only one that doesn't make sense. Tom Savini makes sense.
Right.
Joseph Pilato makes sense. Jack Nance, who's a Eraserhead, makes sense. Heather Langenkamp from Nightmare. Andres Jones from Nightmare. They all make sense. Bruce Abbott from Reanimator makes sense because the director, Robert Kurtzman, is a prosthetic or special makeup effects is what the actual term is, but the prosthetics. He's worked on the Nightmare series, Evil Dead 2, Army, Phantasm 2, Deep Star 6, Bride of Reanimator, Tremors, Misery. He was the Buffalo guy in Dances with Wolves. He even did Cabin Fever. This guy has worked with everybody. He's one of the only people that's worked for Clive Barker, Wes Craven, John Carpenter, and Sam Raimi.
Yeah, wow. And apparently Eli Roth as well. Not that...
Eli Roth. Tarantino?
Yeah.
Yep. He does movies for Kevin Smith.
Okay.
Yeah, and one Paul Thomas Anderson. How good is this guy? The Boogie Nights Dick.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh my fucking God.
Yeah, oh my
that wasn't a real dick. I've been flicking my bane to 15 years over that. That wasn't, actually I went from like, I'm a frustrated teenage girl to an old style newsie.
Right.
Fuck that one up. So yeah, he knows everybody. And so like all of those people I just named have some level of involvement with the films that he's worked on. He directs this. He writes it with his wife. I think they gave pseudonyms for the screenplay, even though they came up with the story and they wrote it. Mm-hmm. He founded KNB Effects Group when he was 25 because he worked on Night of the Creeps at 22 years old, and 3 years later founds his own company that will go on to win an Academy Award and an Emmy. He was gone by the time they won the Academy Award, but he was around for the Emmy that they won for the sci-fi miniseries Dune.
Okay. Night of the Creeps is where we get Thrill Me from on our podcast bumper. Our theme song, I guess. Thrill Me. That's from Night of the Creeps.
That's from Night of the Creeps, yeah. Oh, no, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's from Halloween 3.
Nope. The same guy. Same actor, whatever the hell his name is that I can't remember now, that is also in every movie that we've ever reviewed. No, Thrill Me's how he answers the phone in Night of the Creeps.
I thought, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So he then will found Precinct 13 in Ohio when he leaves K&B, and then he leaves there again, goes to Atlanta. And if you want to see some awesome shit, go to his website. It's robertkurtzmanmufx.com.
Okay.
I usually don't plug somebody's website in the boring bullshit, but I was like, well, he's not Stan Winston yet. I don't know that he will, because he seems very interested in working independently, whereas Winston kept working in the system. It seems like he chose in 2003 to leave the Hollywood system.
So did he do all of the effects here, or did Tom Savini have a hand in some of that too?
Or Heather Langenkamp, who's also special makeup effects. I mean,
Okay.
half of these people are makeup people.
Sure.
That get to be in the movies because they're good makeup people. And they're interesting people. It's also quite damning to people who only act. You talentless fucks.
Right. So, yeah, like I say, did he do all of it, or did he just bring in his friends to play roles? Because obviously Tom Savini is not just a makeup artist, he's an actor too. So
For $1 million, everybody on this movie's wearing more than one hat.
okay, all right, gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Except for Grieco.
And I think I tried to pay attention to, like, when Bruce Campbell came out, I was like, does Bruce Campbell have more lines than Tom Savini and doesn't get his name on this movie because he didn't want to? Which is it? And then I started doing a line count on Tom Savini. I think he only has 2 lines. So he probably did a lot more in the production side of things.
In terms of all of these wonderful B actor / crew, most of them have fewer lines than Laser the dog.
Yeah.
Who I took note to watch. It was also easy to watch the entire credits on this because the Demolition heavy metal song that they made for the movie is fucking rad. I forgot to look up who did it. That sucks.
Well done.
I got really sidetracked on a thing that I can't mention until we start talking about the movie.
Okay. All right. So you're going to talk about Nicole Eggert now.
Yes. Why is she so fucked up?
Like now or then?
In general, I think I have maybe something.
I'm going to go ahead
that
and say Scott Baio.
Or she was Little Miss California in 1976.
Okay.
She was born in 1972.
Wow. 4 years old. That'll fuck
4
you
years
up.
old. Johnson & Johnson baby commercials after that.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Well, I guess somebody's got to do them.
So, coming from the guy that was in, what were you in, a Little Caesars
Yeah,
commercial?
Little Caesars commercial. Fucked me up for life. Yeah, I was a child actor. I've now relegated myself to sitting in a basement and talking to you. So
Yeah.
put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, I had the cover of the Back to School edition of the newspaper in a sleeveless shirt with a mullet. Never recovered.
Our trajectory is very similar to Nicole Eggert's. Just didn't have we never got bolt-ons. If we'd gotten bolt-ons, Sam, we would have ended up in movies like this.
Did she get bolt-ons? I thought
She
she
got
had
bolt-ons, yeah.
Those were because she was in that botched surgery for. I thought it was a reduction though.
Maybe, but in between seasons 4 and 5 of Baywatch, yeah, she got him. She couldn't keep up. She was like, Jesus, look at these. What am I supposed to do here? I'm going to be relegated to playing the daughter for the rest of my life. So she got bolt-ons, and then she was one of the top 2.
So let's go back to the Scott Baio thing.
Okay. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah. Why did she do his show then?
Charles in charge? Because...
No.
What?
He had a reality show 25 years later, and she guested on it.
Cash? I mean, maybe he didn't fuck her up and all, but my understanding is he's a real fucking dickhead, not just in not working life, but also in working life. He's got an ego the size like Kevin Costner at his peak size ego, and he's fucking Scott Baio.
Yeah, I feel like he's a hazard unto himself,
Right.
more than anything. So, like, what are we going to do to Scott Baio that he already hasn't done to Scott Baio?
Yeah. So I don't have any evidence of him being a dick to her. I'm just saying, like, I don't know, he's a dick, and maybe she's a dick.
Well, I guess he did have sex with her underage.
That isn't good. Oh God, damn it! Oh, are you sure
he's
about
10
that?
years older than her.
You're not throwing out some like, hey, I heard a thing and third. You got source on this?
Okay, I got the sources are Nicole Eggert and Scott Baio.
God damn
she
it!
She said she was 15. He's like, no, she was 18.
Oh fuck.
And then they apparently have like reconciled the story that she was 17 and she really wanted it.
Oh, fuck. God damn it! No, you don't understand, Judge. She really wanted it. Like, really.
I had to do some digging because I was like, oh man, age of consent laws are really squirrely. And when it was and all that, California's not.
Yeah.
California's been 18 since 1913.
Yeah.
At one point, however, in California, if you would like to know, in 1850 they changed it from 10.
God damn it.
Really? 10?
Okay.
10?
All right. Boy. Yeah. I mean, I guess Hollywood's kind of got a problem that they need to address, you know. I guess the Weinstein probably was a good start to addressing this, like, hey, you know what? She really wanted it thing. Stop it. Don't do this anymore, Hollywood. God damn it. Lock him up. Okay. What else?
Well, she's so fucked up that she was in a long-term relationship with Corey Haim, so that says something right there.
Yeah. That'll do.
She apparently saved his life on multiple occasions because she was the one that would drive him to the hospital when he OD'd.
Okay.
And speaking of how she's still shell-shocked from a whole career of everything that's bad that could happen to a person over and over again forever, including botched plastic surgeries.
Yeah.
Somebody was like, well, you saved his life. And she's like, is he alive?
No. Jesus. Oh, God.
She tried her hardest for a long time, but he finally did it.
That's not your fault, Nicole.
It's not. But she also has a point. Like, did I?
Yeah.
Did I?
Well, yeah. I don't know. That sucks. Now I'm depressed.
It sucks. I don't really have anything on Richard Grieco because I just don't care about him.
No.
Like, I'm still like, Richard Grieco, why? But I think I might have my finger on a little bit why. I watched this with headphones.
Okay.
So you get a really good sound when you're watching a movie with good headphones. Mm-hmm. And you hear things that you won't hear at a theater because they're trying to blow your eardrums out or when you're watching it on TV or whatever, right?
Sure.
I was able to ascertain by watching a couple, I got done with the movie quite a while ago, so I watched a couple of the Richard Grieco scenes again with my eyes closed, and then I watched some Christian Slater scenes with my eyes closed, and you cannot tell the fucking difference between their voices. If they looked the same, they'd be the same fucking guy. It's crazy.
Interesting. I did not pick up on that. I'm going to have to... is there any other Grieco, like... Besides 21 Jump Street... Is there any that's the Richard Grieco movie? That's the one.
This one here.
Yeah, that's what I think too. Like, man, all of the Richard Grieco movies in the 90s, well, it's just pretty much that's the Richard Grieco movies, are just like bleh. They're like those Jeff Fahey sexy movies. Like,
oh, the Jeff Fahey sexy movies are way better than Richard Grieco
they
shit.
are.
Come on now.
They are, but you name a title. Name one of those Jeff Fahey sexy movies. You can't name the title of one of them.
I think I can. If I knew what it was called. That's not the way I meant. What do they call those people, the crime scene artists or the
Forensic.
when they draw the sketch artist?
Yeah, well, there's a sketch artist. Forensic science.
No, it's the sketch artist is the name of it.
Okay.
Like, I named one. There you go. Sketch artist.
Was the name was sketch artist? I don't think that's the
Something
name.
like that.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think you know. Richard,
No, I don't.
The other Richard Grieco movie was Hair Guy. That was the name of his. That's about as good as you did right there. So they're on the same platform. Yes, one's funner, but they're all forgettable. All right. Should we get into this thing?
Yes.
All right. You speak about watching the credits. Well, the reason why you didn't have a problem watching the credits at the end is because of the 10 goddamn minutes at the beginning. Credits. No.
Well, you got to put all these people in here. They did a good job. The fucking production designer killed it for $1 million, right?
Imagine going and renting this, and then the first 10 minutes you just spend watching not visual effects credits, just a black screen with one name on it at a time forever. Basically to music that is a direct ripoff of the Terminator 2 music. I would not be happy.
It's just canned music.
Yeah.
Like, and then he has a friend who's in a heavy metal band that I forgot to look up.
Right.
That gets at the end. Because that's like the only two. There's not any in the credits. There was like that song and then score by. So it was sellout music.
Yeah. Anyway, so here's where we're at. Richard Grieco plays this guy named Mad Dog, and him and his brother are in prison they're dead men walking. They're not just on death row. They are, execution is imminent. And what I was able to piece together, the crime that they committed, they killed a bunch of people. But that's not why they're in prison. It's because they used guns. They had illegal guns because all of the guns have been banned from private citizens in Metro City and maybe the United States. I wasn't real clear on that, but nobody seemed to really care in the news report about them shooting a bunch of people. It was just the fact that they had guns. You get to be murdered now.
Yeah, you possessed a firearm, death row. Also, we shot some people. But icing on the cake, I guess.
Right?
We have to mention, however, the reason I was sidetracked on my research. They're watching a film.
Uh-huh.
There's a bunch of Fangoria shit all over the place.
Right.
Little fandom.
It's
and then
kaiju movie they're watching.
They're watching a kaiju movie with a giant marlin smashing shit. And I'm like, fuck, I got to figure out what this movie is. It shouldn't be hard to track down. It's a giant marlin. They probably only used that one a few times.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to find it.
Okay.
1978's Japanese theatric version of Spider-Man.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to get my hands on a copy of that so we can do it for the episode.
You got to get the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because it's a 44 episode season, and the feature film is the story in between episode 10 and 11, and a giant marlin gets radioactive and starts smashing Tokyo because it's a Toei movie, right? Mm-hmm. And Spider-Man has to get into a giant mech and fight it.
I believe you're talking about a Spider-Man.
Oh, God damn it.
That's what his name is.
No, I looked it up.
That's all I've ever heard it called.
The Hepburn on it is Spider-Man.
Oh. I've actually heard really good things about that. Previously, I watched a Screen Crush about it, and then I watched the 4 best Marvel knockoff movies. There were some good things that were said about it. It's ridiculous, of course. He has guns. But then they did, I think the Marvel 616 or whatever that documentary show was that was on Disney Plus that was actually pretty solid as shit. They did a whole episode on the Spider-Man, and it looks interesting. I'd like to watch it. I'm
infatuated with it. It's like, if you can't find it, I'll be looking for it as well, because I really, really like that stuff. That is the post-Kamen Rider. Everything, no matter what the storyline is, it's a guy in a robot suit fighting a giant monster.
Right.
Because of how they get there, right? Like, this is point A, Spider-Man. Nothing to do with kaiju, nothing to do with Ultraman. Point A, if your point B is Ultraman fighting a kaiju, the distance is a bridge too far.
Right.
But they always get there, and it's just really weird how they have to do it.
Yeah, I'm all about it. Anyways, yeah, so they don't even care that they're dead men walking because they just love bad movies too much. But they're the mayor is the only one. Mayor, whatever her name is, Pitchface, she's the only one that can pardon them, or give them a stay of execution, which is not what mayors actually do. They can't do that.
They can't do that. And also, would you do that for people that were just shooting other people outside of a fountain?
Now we wait to hear from the mayor. I'm sorry, the mayor?
The mayor?
Yeah.
Also, I wrote down the total recall note on the mayor. Is that your mayor? Yeah. What a bitch.
She is a major bitch. Maybe Metro City's like one of those super cities that has taken over an entire state, so the mayor has the same power as a governor. Maybe, I don't know.
So this is like Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
And Dark Angel. Is Dark Angel just based on that? Because I know that he says that it's supposed to be like Battle Angel Alita, but it's straight up just this movie.
Yeah, right. I never watched it.
Yeah, I well, judging from the bumpers that were on television promoting it, maybe.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and throw myself in the minority and have a bunch of people go, what? But I don't really like Jessica Alba. I think she kind of sucks. So
I don't think people are going to go, what? Because she seems to have faded into complete obscurity because no one gives a fuck.
That's true. Okay, so anyways, so she's like, hey, calling into the prison. Oh, hey, warden, what's up? Yeah, it's me and the mayor. Yeah, no, I know that they're about to die. Yeah, no, I'm calling. No, not for that reason. I want you to fry them. Like bacon. I want their corpses to be crispy so that you can flake chips off of them and then dip them in salsa and then have more chips that are people. Fry them.
I want you to cook them so hard you wouldn't even want fava beans on the side. The warden even says, how would you like me to serve you after you're cooked?
Right. Everybody is treating these humans like food. Like, sure, I'm not going to get into, the death penalty stuff here, but come on, you're treating them like food. That's gross.
Yep. But because he can't be outdone in the one-liners in this film, Grieco's like, sorry, change of dinner plans.
We brought in our own wait staff.
Yep. Looks like the new menu is you, too. So they pull the old switcheroo with guns, sort of. They shoot the press and put the father, who's the guy from Eraserhead, Jack Nance, and the warden in the electric chairs and fry them instead. And they pee so much when they're getting electrocuted that little brother gets electrocuted by the river of the pee because he's like, I gotta keep frying him. And Richard Grieco's like, no, little brother, don't do that. The pee's gonna get you. He's like, no, fry him. And then he just gets completely destroyed because the pee makes it to him and he's electrocuted. It's a river of pee.
Despite wearing rubber-soled shoes.
But despite wearing rubber-soled shoes, he's completely fried, and Richard Grieco's like, no! Okay, let's go.
Right? Let's get out of here. Yeah, I also don't really get how they get free because, like, Tom Savini just pulls a Batman. He's just suddenly in the execution chamber, and he's like, ha, 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 and then they're out.
Oh, yeah, these guys work quick. Later on, they work quick again. So they're just like, oh, we're out of here. And then they're back at the hideout, which isn't, it's a huge warehouse. How many of them can there be?
Right. Yeah.
Police.
Yeah. Come on.
Well, you see their cars later.
The police cars?
Yeah. They're like, this is the future. And they've got Studebakers.
Right.
This is a frank discussion on the dangers of defunding the police.
They're not even like cleverly disguised previous cars. Like, it's not like some sort of Dick Tracy scenario where it's an alternative future. These are just clunkers.
They got clunkers.
Right.
Clunkers and tasers. They're not getting shit done.
Oh, okay. So Grieco and Raimi, they get back to this biker gang hangout, and it's basically just a strip club. There's just boobs everywhere, and I don't know if anybody from this movie's ever seen what topless women that hang around these type of guys look like. But try going to Sturgis one time, and you will never want to see boobs again. But these are pretty nice boobs that they've managed to round up. These are high quality boobs.
It's 2 blocks from Sunset. They just had to go to one of the clubs. This is the 90s, right?
That's a good point.
Was just as dirty as Times Square back then.
Yep. And some other dudes have been minding the gang while Mad Dog's been in prison, and he's like, "Hey, you did a good job keeping things together. Blam, blam, you're dead. Here's my peaceful transition of power." What?
Also, why wasn't Tom Savini running the show?
Right?
It seems like he's the right-hand man.
Right. Okay. And also shooting your top guys. I guess you're just like making a statement like nobody's safe in this gang or whatever. I'm just a dickhead, but why would you be a part of this?
Some of the what happens later, because I've already talked about the dog, because the negotiator is a Doberman Pinscher.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's what happened is in prison he found it because the guy he left in charge was actually a CPA. But now he's realized that he can just have all of his office work done by dogs.
Yeah.
His lawyer's a Shih Tzu.
Thousand monkeys with typewriters.
Sure.
Okay. So he's like, I don't really get sentimental too much about people dying, but I want you to know that little brother's dead, and it's the fault of that bitch mare. It's kind of not.
He was dancing and singing maniacally about frying people in a river of pee.
Yeah, it's kind of not her fault. I mean, it seems like he was a dipshit. So, either way, he vows revenge against her. We're going to find her and we're going to take over City Hall or whatever.
Had little brother made it, I'm thinking he's still going to go blow up the mayor.
Right. Yeah, I don't think little brother has anything to do with anything. But Nicole Eggert's there. Her character's name is Alyssa, and she's a plant for the cops. She's got sci-tech. She's got like a recording camera in her eyelid and earbuds on that record stuff. I don't really know.
She's got a contact lens that in the future, the nanotech is so good that you can just have a contact that's a camera and an earring that's a microphone and transmitter.
Okay. I'm going to circle back to the camera later because that doesn't line up with me, but go ahead. Anyway, so he's like, we're going to find if there's any, no, that's not the same scene. They're just general dicks to her. Like, yeah. Can't wait to break you in.
She goes to the bathroom to talk to her partner. And then Boxer comes in and does his business. He's like, and then she either does or doesn't kick him in the balls and leave, and then goes back out after telling her partner, "We can't wait. I'm going to nail him now."
Yeah. Oh, no, wait for backup. Ah, oh, damn it. She never waits for backup because she's one tough cap.
And Grieco can smell a rat already.
Yeah.
And he's just like, "There's a rat in here." Because right now is when the pinch on the mare happens with the window washers.
Yeah, So what's going on is there's this professor guy. I don't even know what his name is, but he's the professor. And he is going into the mayor's office to pitch her on the Lazarus Project. Mrs. Mayor, I know you and I haven't seen eye to eye a lot, but oh no, you're here to talk about that damn Lazarus Project again. I told you last time there's no funding for any silly thing called the Lazarus Project. You've seen that on the X-Files and 100 other movies that, there's always a Lazarus Project somewhere. You're just the guy that's like, yeah, let's do the Lazarus Project. What's the Lazarus Project? I don't know. Nobody ever does it. Let's do it.
Actually, in the X-Files, it was the Lazarus Bowl.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, they send in assassins, window washer assassins, the phone call comes into Higgins, the mayor's chief of security or the head of the cops, or I don't even know what he is.
He's the police chief. Peter Jason, famed character actor, is the police chief. And the professor who's proposing the Lazarus Project is Bruce Abbott. And she's like, what are you talking about, guy from Reanimator reanimating a corpse?
Right? Yeah, the Lazarus Project. Higgins gets this phone call. Oh, there's an attack coming? Like 2 seconds before the windshield washers bust through the window. Higgins does nothing about this. The professor is the one that pushes the mayor out of the way and then guns down the assassins. So him having a bug, a mole inside of his operation, Grieco, it doesn't even matter. It was that your guys were fucking inept. They got killed by a guy with a 4-barrel belt gun.
It's a 4-barrel Derringer thing. Mm-hmm. It's a stupid gun.
It's a stupid gun.
It's a stupid gun that wouldn't work in real life. Or if it does, there's a chance that if you pull the trigger on it more than 2 feet away from whatever you're shooting at, the bullets will come back and hit you in the face.
Right.
If you've ever shot a Derringer, it only happens once. You pull the trigger and you go, I'm never fucking doing that again. Right. Like, if it's not pressed against him, that bullet could go anywhere.
Yeah, so these guys were just inept. But the mayor is like, all right, green light for Project Lazarus. Go ahead.
Yeah, and even after that, she's like, okay, we almost got killed. My secretary got killed. That other guy that was here, he's dead. Did you say something about re-election?
Right.
Okay, let's do it.
So back at the Titty Twister, Grieco is, he gets word about the failed attempt. And he's like, oh, man, those guys were my best men. There's no way they could be taken down by a professor. They must have had early warning. Yeah, they did, but it really didn't matter, so you shouldn't even think about that. You should be like, dude, those guys sucked.
Those are my best guys. And Tom Savini's like, I thought I was your best guy.
I was, in fact, your best man at your first wedding.
Also, why did you get married?
Yeah.
You lead a life of crime.
Oh, that's what happened. You
got to be legal.
She was a real bitch, so he had no choice but just, the damage was done. He sent him into a life of crime. That's
what this is about. Mm-hmm. The mayor is his ex-wife.
Oh! Hubba, hubba.
I call this bomb the alimony.
So he grabs Nicole Eggert and he's like, how about you blow me? And she's like, let's go someplace private. Like, okay, so she was going to do that. Fine. She's really going all the way undercover. But he's like, no. If you don't blow me here, that must mean you're a mole. So he pins her down, and then he grabs a cigarette and pokes her like it's not aimed at her eyeball. Like, she's like, no. And then she's like, oh, okay, I thought you were going to poke me in the eye.
I watched it again because it was unclear to me. What he does is he uses the cigarette to lift the contact lens out of her eye.
I don't think that would work.
No, it would not. It would definitely melt the contact lens to your eye and blind you forever.
Yeah, no. So now he knows that she's the mole, and he's like, this is a shortwave radio. That means her partner must be nearby, so they go and grab her partner. He's in a van.
And he looks like our friend Jeff, does he not?
He does a little, yeah.
That's his Andres Jones from Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Or no, sorry, Nightmare 1.
Yeah.
This is great because he's like, go search him. And then it just cuts to them pulling this guy out of the van. And then it cuts back and he's already in the chair beat up. These guys work fast.
Yeah, they do. So they make them play the old round of Deer Hunter and give them one bullet and say, you pull the trigger, then you pull the trigger, then you pull the trigger, then you pull the trigger. But the partner's like, I loved you in Baywatch. Click, 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 boom. Blows his own head off.
Yeah.
Well, no, he doesn't even blow his own head off.
I'm wondering about the math on Grieco here. Because it's like, well, if you wanted to do that, just put one in every other chamber and spin it, stupid.
Yeah.
Get this over with.
Yeah. We don't got all day. See how fast we work? We got things to do. You sent Gary and Dave because they're your best men to kill the mayor. Yeah, well, we could actually get it done.
By the time this thing plays out, the one note that I have is really good slap angles, huh? Because there's like 30 slaps in this scene, and they all look quite real. Very good camera angles on the slaps.
All right, fair enough. And then, so he is like, the other thing, he's like, hollow points. The ultimate mind expander. Your partner's going to get his head blown off. And then the partner shoots himself. His head clearly doesn't come off because of later. But then they also cut to her being hung up on a fence. We don't know what happened to her. She's just hung up on a fence and they leave.
Yeah. I thought because when I picked this, there was a lot of like Robocop knockoff, this and that. I'm like, okay, they're going to cut her up real bad. No arms, no legs, something.
Right.
They just slap her around and chain her to a fence.
Yeah.
And she's just doesn't have a lot of fortitude, I guess.
Yeah, because the next jump cut to both of them in an operating room. And it's day. Like, she got hung up at night. And now it's day outside. How long were they there? He's got a bullet in his head, a hollow point, and they're like, he's still alive? What the fuck?
Yeah, and they got there in an ambulance that was built in 1937 that can only go 43 miles an hour. Also, they put a note because they're like, you're going to be the messenger to the mayor. You think, oh, he's going to let her go. She's going to tell him all about it. But no, they put a sign on her written in her own blood.
Uh-huh.
That I backed up twice, and there is no way to read what is on there.
Nice.
So mission unaccomplished.
Oh, God. So she's dying, and the guy that lost at Russian roulette is not. And so I guess they like cut up her tummy or something. I don't fucking know.
They just hit her with a phone book until she couldn't take it anymore.
I guess. All right. Well,
she's dying of internal hemorrhaging, at which point Time Machine hit list member Sarah Douglas shows up, who you will remember as General Zod's girlfriend in Superman 2.
That was Sarah Douglas. Good pickup on that. The professor, he comes in and he's like, hey, I want her to be Lazarus Project Subject 1. Hey, do you want to do this? And she's like, he's like, yep, good enough for me.
They're talking about how she's like not going to make it, and she's clearly fairly responsive here.
Mm-hmm.
But then he shakes her and she dies.
No, I need your, dang it, she passed out. Thump. Oh, yep, she said yes. That's clear. That'll hold up in a court of law that I'm resurrecting the dead. Okay. Oh, my work is done. And sure enough, we don't see what happens to her. We don't see the operation. We don't get Wolverine in the adamantium chamber. None of that stuff. She just wakes up and she's like, well, I thought I died. You did. What?
Yeah, I was able to connect the dots here. They just stick her in that chair that injects the stuff into her and she comes back alive.
Yeah, but we don't see the chair until later. She's just there.
Sure.
She's good. Like, you should have like some sort of elaborate Frankensteinian, it's alive type thing. I mean, why not?
Did you see that set and how much they had to spend on this? They got to cut some corners, buddy.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. All right.
That's pretty good. I thought that all of that art direction and production design in this science facility for the money is like, well, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I would have liked some diodes stuck to her head and, all right, crank up the juice. Put it at maximum.
They gave the early 3D model on the screen a couple times where it spins around the naked 3D model.
Yeah, that was... Okay.
Both times he's looking up her like career history. I'm like, why is there a nude rendering of that next to her spinning around?
Yeah, and the actual photo, her like file photo, she doesn't have any clothes on. It's a bust shot, shoulders up, but she doesn't have any clothes on in that. It's like, that's what you do when you join the LAPD. It's like, strip. We're going to take your picture and put it on your ID card. Cool. I don't know.
There was some fuzzy things going on in the LAPD in the 90s.
Well, this is Metro City. This isn't L.A., Sam. It's Metro City.
Allegedly. Gotham, not New York? I don't know.
Right. All right, so he wheels her into his office, and he's like, so, yeah, you're alive. And she's like, that doesn't make sense. So he stabs her in the hand, and she straight up clocks him. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But now she's got Wolverine's healing factor. So.
But he says that, is this the scene where he's like, you got to take this stuff all the time, otherwise you're just going to die again.
Yeah.
You will completely decompose.
And she's like, well, that sucks. And he's like, hey, lady, your ass belongs to the city now. You're a slave. She's like, no.
She signed the forms.
Yeah.
They have paperwork when you start working at Metro City PD that if you die on duty, they get to use your body for whatever.
Yep.
Maybe they're figuring, at worst, we can just catapult him at the enemy.
All right, so now Higgins is getting exposed as Grieco's inside man in the mayor's office. They're together, and they have hostile negotiations where the dog just barks repeatedly in Higgins' face, and Higgins like, okay, I'll see myself out, and I'm still your partner.
This scene... There's so many scenes that are like this that have so much fun stuff in them that people are having a good time. And the side effect of this one is when they talk about his brother, they both give the sign of the cross, like, but all of the other things that are happening right here, but they're taking their Catholicism very seriously in the story world.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the scene. It doesn't make any fucking lick of sense as far as like how people talk, but it's a fun scene. Then cut back to Eggert, and we now learn that she's got superpowers. It's not just that she's got Wolverine's healing factor. She can do, like, jump highs and punch hards, and she's fast.
Super aiming.
Yeah, super aiming. That's a good power. My note is now she's Captain Zombarine. Okay, I fucked that one up.
Zombarine?
Yeah, she's Captain...
Yeah, I have a zombie note right after this. He introduces her to her new, like, ordnance, which are bullshit guns that I was able to figure out later. Those are just straight up those revolver lighters made into a prop.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Yeah, I saw that.
Really good work.
So now great. She's got all these superpowers. She's got guns that are stupid. And she can kick a bunch of ass, but she has to take these daily injections, and they also give her nightmares. And the nightmares also cause her to have random clothing changes. That was interesting. While having the nightmares.
There's a point where the mayor comes in and she's like, what's happening to it? And he's like, I don't know. And he just starts flipping switches. And it's like, she's clearly having a nightmare.
Yeah.
She's an undead super cop. She's going to have fucking nightmares.
And so he starts flipping switches, and the mayor's like, well, looks like you've got things covered. And he just kind of looks like none of those switches were even connected to anything. And then he just wanders off while she continues having the nightmares. And she's like seeing fucked up shit. She's like seeing the mayor. She's seeing Grieco. She's seeing like Satan constantly.
Yeah. She saw monsters, zombies, and the devil.
Right? It's so silly. Yeah. Every time I get daily injections, same thing happens to me. And then she's sad now because she's dead. And like her partner has got the Dane Bramage, and she's like, how would that even work? What would it even be like to kiss dead lips?
And this is great because the guy from Reanimator's like, I wouldn't know. And he looks around and I'm like, oh, wouldn't you? Because it looks like you do know, sir.
Yeah, she's having an identity crisis about like, am I still sexy now that I'm a zombie? This is weird.
Yeah. And then her, fiance, who was her partner, which I think is against the regs,
maybe,
is still plugged in, even though he should not be.
Yeah, and that's what happens. That's the next scene. She busts out of her injection seat and goes and visits Dan, her partner, and she takes him off life support. The meter goes boop, and then she gives him a kiss. So now she knows what it's like to kiss dead lips.
Well, she's dead too, though, so it's like a, Obi-Wan shit. It's all a matter of your point of view.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dead lips on dead lips. So she doesn't know.
Dead lips on dead lips and sunken ships?
Okay. She wanders the street. She's starting to look pretty crappy. She's bumping into stuff and falling down. And she then is like, God damn it, I can't live without those injections. So she goes back to the lab. And now she's got gross face, but her arms and the rest of her are still Nicole Eggert, but it's just her face has gotten zombified.
Yeah. And she's like, man, I want to get in the chair. And he's like, all right, well, I guess the guy who killed your other fiance is just going to kill a bunch of other people and have fun doing it. Oh, this was for nothing. And she's like, put me in the chair. And he's like, it's a fucking chair. Sit in it.
Right.
But they put her in the chair.
All right, you're ready to go. Suit up. She's
ready to go skating.
Yeah, right.
She's got skating knee pads on.
Oh my god. Oh, the suit. It's a bullet and fireproof combat suit. Okay.
Even though she's already bullet and fireproof.
Right. Okay, why?
Maybe she can only take 60 or 70 bullets before it's going to do her in, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. And then they give her a mask, too. And what the fuck does this mask do?
Gives her Batman voice.
That's it.
Yeah.
He, says some stuff to us about what the mask does. And all of it's what? Why would you? I don't need that. Fuck your mask. It's not even a full mask. It's a chin mask.
It's a chin mask so that she can have really irreverent hairdo.
Yeah. Oh, and also here's your motorcycle. That didn't happen.
We got the super bike because she oh, it's your super bike, and then there's a shot of her on it going 6.
Right.
And I have to ask you, because you went through all the motorcycle training. On a bicycle, there's a certain speed that you need to be going at least this much before you're actually being more dangerous than going I'm going to go slow. No, you need to be going at least this fast. Otherwise, you're actually, worse off than not going that fast. What is that speed?
It's actually pretty low. You can balance a motorcycle pretty darn good, even while churning, at low speeds. There's still a point, but it's not quite the same stability to speed ratio that a bicycle is. I would say 6 is fine.
Okay, yeah, because you can go 6 on a bike too, but she's pushing it.
Pointless, but you can do it. All right, so she's ready to rock. They get a hot tip that Grieco's boys are pulling a dock job. So she goes down to the dock and she jumps in. She starts shooting everybody. She doesn't even have shooting moves. She doesn't do cool flips while she's shooting. She just stands on top of high stuff and kind of spins around a little bit.
No, she does a flip onto the semi-trailer. She does a flying battle flip, and then there's a wire work where she does the arms out 360 down the side of it shooting people.
Yeah, I don't remember that. Because later she just stands on top of stuff and shoots.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. And there's a lot of pointing the lighter gun at the camera so that you can't tell that it's a lighter gun.
Yeah, right.
Which makes for a cool effect because you can't point the real guns that have blanks at the camera because it'll still, shoot for quite a while.
Right.
Quite a ways.
Yeah. That's how several actors died.
Brandon Lee.
Not just Brandon Lee, but the guy from... Night Hunter? What the fuck was that TV show's name that had the theme song was I Need a Hero. I'm holding out for a hero through the morning light. Really good looking dude.
I know what you're talking about.
Playing around, he put the prop gun to his head and shot. Didn't make it.
That's not a very smart thing to do, especially because the weapons master probably told him 30 times, no, you can't fucking make that joke. You will kill yourself.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I think he was Swedish. So he only heard...
God damn it.
It's all. It's the only way he can speak. You know, it's not.
Dorf goes acting.
Yeah, Dorf goes acting. Okay, all right. So also they bleed purple in this scene. There's purple mist whenever she shoots a guy. Did you see that?
Yeah, I'm thinking because they're doing a lot of backlight with blue lights to get that glow. And so it's just a side effect of the blood being red and the light being blue.
Yeah, it was also just a weird choice that usually in movies like these, you get the corn syrup and you have the squib and it's very thick liquid that shoots out. This was just mist. Like they chose to do blood spray mist instead of squirt.
I think if it wasn't backlit, you wouldn't notice that mist that comes off the squib. I'm thinking it's just an issue with too much glowy light in the background of everything.
All right. Well, I guess she's out of bullets because now she's pulled out a hedge trimmer. She could really clean up her yard.
Wait, the hedge trimmer?
Yeah, it's a rod. Like, here's my battle stave with the spinning fucking Norelco-style shaver on the end of it.
I didn't notice the shaver. I just thought it was a collapsible staff.
Yeah, no, it's got this like fucking 1.5-inch spinning blade on the end of it that blows. It's seriously a hedge trimmer. So she's whacking guys with that. I don't think she even uses the hedge trimmer ever. It's just supposed to be intimidating and totally isn't. We'll never see it again for the rest of the movie. Boxer steals her bike, and she's like, "You're not getting away, Buster," via her brain or something. And the bike's like, "Access denied." But you're riding it still? Access denied. And then it stops, and he shoots off the handlebars, but doesn't really get hurt when he lands, which is kind of disappointing.
Yeah, Joe Pilato, the actor that's Boxer, does a really good... he does a lot of murmuring in all of his scenes. Like, he steals screen time because nobody has any lines, so he just makes his own by repeating stuff.
Yeah.
And when the computer's like, access denied, he's like, who's denied? Why am I denied? Who's denied? Like, okay, talk to the bike. Why not?
Who are these people? He's like, you wouldn't kill me. I'm sorry. Don't kill me. She's like, yeah, I'll kill you in a heartbeat. And then we get a vigilante justice montage. These are my favorite montages.
I wrote that because it didn't seem like a montage to me. I guess it was, but my note is, well, looks like one night ends the crime spree.
Yeah, no, there was a bunch of headlines. She freed some hostages. She saved a bus full of nuns. There was a towering inferno situation. She did the cool Spider-Man thing where she held up the building by her back and stuff. All that. It was all headlines. Got to read those things. News, the press, important. Yeah. Stop going to Twitter for your news feed, Sam.
Yeah. Well, this thing moves so fast that if you I had to back it up a bunch of times. If you stop to write something down, 10 fucking things happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
this is a cruiser.
I had that problem as well. But one of the headlines was that crime is at an all-time low. Yay. Except the crimes against the Constitution, because those crimes are through the roof. Because none of these guys are getting goddamn due process. She's just blowing them away.
Got the answer to the gun problem. We're going to take all the guns away and send out roving zombie cops to kill everybody.
Crime is at an all-time low. Yeah, because everybody's dead.
Yep. Cleany clean.
So Higgins is like, oh, dang it. Things are not going so good. I better go into the bathroom. Oh, no, Richard Grieco's here.
Disguised cleverly as a member of the press. Right? Isn't that the guy?
Yeah, Superman has a better disguise than Grieco's here.
His disguises are just him wearing clothes and still definitely being Richard Grieco.
Did you notice that Higgins takes the longest trickle piss in the history of film here?
Yeah, he's peeing the whole time, and Grieco's like, I'm gonna blow your dick off. He's like, I'm still peeing. Sorry. He's like, you need to fix this. I'm like, can I finish peeing? He's like, why are you peeing so long? I drink a lot of coffee.
But he's got problems too, because like Austin Powers' long piss was a steady stream. Higgins is just a trickle. It's like tinkle, 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 tinkle,
No,
tinkle, tinkle.
he drinks two pots of coffee by 10 a.m. and his prostate's the size of a grapefruit.
Higgins, you need to go to the doctor. Oh, man.
I'm going to blow your dick off. Hey, buddy, you'd be doing me a favor.
Open that up. I got piss in there.
Just aim a little high. Maybe it'll just pop this right out of my bladder.
Yeah. That cock is full of kidney stones anyways. It's all jammed up in there. Tinkle, tinkle, tinkle.
You might stand back when the bullet hits that. It's going to be like a flak explosion in here.
Frag grenade. Cock frag grenade. Tinkle, tinkle, tinkle. Oh, man, it is so weird. The Foley guy. What the fuck were you doing here? I guess it's not the Foley guy's fault. It's the sound editor's fault. But...
Yeah, they're probably the same guy on this movie, I'm going to be honest with you. There's the sound guy, probably, yeah.
So he tells, Grieco tells Higgins to pull the plug on the Demolitionist, and he's like, dude, I don't have anything to do with that. My whole thing was to get you guns.
Also, can I finish peeing?
Yeah, tinkle, tinkle, tinkle.
He's still peeing.
Still peeing.
This is a great part, too, because he's like, well, I need those guns. And he's like, well, I need money. Because all I wrote down was money for guns. And they're like, okay, that sounds good. Bye.
Right? And then no resolution. Like, you get guns when I get money. Cool. Sounds good. I'm out. I'll be waiting on those guns. You're going to be waiting a long time.
Unless you know a urinary tract specialist, it's going to take a while.
Yeah, need you to take out the Demolitionist. Well, she's busy taking out the trash and bridal shops. Bad ass.
Eat shit, wedding dress.
Whoa. This chick is tough. What the fuck? I hate weddings.
Well, she was going to marry Dan against regulations.
Right.
And so she sees the wedding dress and she's like, if I'm a zombie, no one can ever marry again. And then she machine guns the piss out of a wedding dress and seems like she misses it the whole time.
Right. So dumb.
She then returns to the professor, who has celebratory champagne and what looks to be piles of food. Were you able to make out what these food piles were?
It looked like cold fish.
One pile did look like cold fish. One looked like half pancake, half sugar cookie.
Yeah.
Because it was just this big lump.
There was a lot of lumps of food. It wasn't even shaped food or like prepared food. It was just, all right, we got this in our freezer. Let's just pile it onto these plates and stack it.
I wrote this one down because it really sums up the scene. Because he's like, what, you don't want any? And she's like, sorry, I'm really sad and you like fucking dead people and it's weirding me out, so I'm going to go. And she does.
That's ironic because I've got some dead fish here. You know? Like when you're... All right.
You know, I went all the way to, Murphy's to get these mounds of food for you that you can't eat because you're a zombie.
Who's hungry? All right, so we'll cut to a bank, and there is a bank guard that very much needs to go to prison. But it's okay. Richard Grieco comes in and shoots his ass. Thanks, Richard Grieco.
This is also weird because, that child is dressed like a prostitute.
She's dressed like a prostitute, and mom is also dressed like a prostitute.
So it's a hooker mom and hooker daughter.
At a bank.
And I'm like, oh, is this the police station? Because there looks like a guy with a cop who's definitely a child molester, and he's got an electric lollipop.
Yep.
And I'm like, wow, the police station, this police station needs to get cleaned up. But then I'm like, that's the bank?
That's the bank.
That's the bank?
This is the Wells Fargo in town, in Metro City. Yikes.
And during the heist, Richard Grieco says, get the coins too. It's laundry day. Which brings me to burn my first question. What is laundry day like for this gang?
Right?
If I would assume before this line that they just go fuck up the washing machines until they wash their clothes, or they push the people down that have already paid for the laundry. But clearly, because he wants to steal those coins, they behave very straight at the laundromat.
Right. Well, leather is hard to wash, so maybe they've got they're tied into we got to make sure there's only one laundromat in town that can actually wash all this leather. So we can't fuck it up, guys. We can destroy all the other laundromats that can just do cotton and stuff like that, but this one can do leather.
Yeah, well, I think that's why they take the leather over to the Newman's dry cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go to the laundromat, and there's, Boxer, I've told you a million times, you can't mix the whites and the jeans. God damn it. Laundry is taken very seriously from this murderous gang.
Okay. All right, so she gets a call. There's a 211 in progress. She shows up, and she is to the cops outside, "No, I got it handled. Fuck off." And she rides her bike straight in to the bank and starts blasting everybody. And so Richard Grieco grabs the kid, and he's like, "Hey, sweetheart, she's not going to hurt you. She doesn't want you to die. I'll just leave." And the kid's standing there with, we find out later, grenades, but could be really anything.
Well, she turns around, and there's red lights beeping, and she's crying, and I'm like, okay, how's she going to deactivate these bombs? She just walks right fucking past that kid holding bombs.
Kid. Well, they're not even bombs, they're grenades, Sam. So
either way,
give me throw them, chuck them, throw them. I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah, they're beeping like they're on a timer. She could have grabbed him and thrown him out the window. There's a million things that could happen, but she's just like, looks like you're on your own with those grenades, kid.
I wish you the best. Bye-bye. Okay. Because Grieco, she chases after Grieco, and Grieco throws one at her, and it explodes. Doesn't hurt her, but delayed her enough for him to get away? I don't know.
Yeah, it's some Joker business. He makes off after the explosion, and then the second explosion happens upstairs, and she looks up and goes, "Oh shit, that kid just blew up." Mm-hmm. But the bomb squad got it out of her hands and put him in a shop vac, so everything's fine.
Yeah, she's thinking, "Oh, I thought those were stud finders." Oh, whoops.
It looked like a 2-part AB epoxy compound with a light on it.
Yeah, so Higgins then leaks the footage of her doing that to the press. So now she's wanted. She's the least popular person in the city because she just walked right past that kid.
Well, if you have a superhero, they can super fuck up.
Right.
She's so sad that she's just gone back to her room and she's just cutting herself.
Yeah, she's really torn up about it. So, but then she goes into the motor pool, and there's cops there. Higgins is there, and she's like, "We're gonna tase you." And so then we're gonna tase you to death. And then she somehow manages to untase herself and then transfer the electricity back to the cops. And
what
they're
happens is they fake a crime so that she goes to them.
Okay.
And that's why, because Higgins is like, pretty good response time, and she should have said it's because I'm not in a 37 jalopy.
Right.
And then they tase her, and she does reverse the tase.
And they're dead.
And these tasers blow up a car.
Uh-huh.
These are not non-lethal weapons.
So these cops are dead. She's just killed some cops who were just following orders from Higgins. So add that to the list.
That are all dirty.
Are they?
Because they work for Higgins.
No, they're just cops. He could be like, go here with me. And they're like, "Okay, Sarge, you're the chief of police. I'm going to tell you, no, you're up to something weird." No, they're going to be like, "You're the chief of police. Let's go." Cool.
Yeah.
I'm on my way up, baby. And then they're dead because she killed them.
Yep.
Huh. And then she just walks off like it's nothing. And the movie says it's nothing. She goes back to the professor's place, but all the equipment is ripped out. Shut the whole thing down. Project Lazarus is no more. And she's like, where am I going to get my injections? He's like, I got one more for you right here, baby. And gives her like a needle gun. And it's time to finish this up.
Yep. Clock is ticking.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna decompose, so you better hurry up and kill Richard Grieco.
Yeah, so somehow she knows about this drug deal that's going on in a hotel with Richard Grieco's guys.
This is a bomb. They're buying a bomb.
Bomb deal?
To blow
Okay.
up the mayor because he says, this guy's awesome. He nails it. And he's talking about creating the bomb. And he's like, I'm not blowing shit up. I'm making new spaces.
So she poses as room service, and they're like, I didn't order room service. You order room service? No, I didn't order room service. So they start blowing the hell out of the door, but she's not by the door. She's in the room next door, and she totally busts in like Kool-Aid Man and is like, hey, 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 and starts blowing them away.
Yeah. One guy, however, makes off. She drops her serum gun, and the guy takes it and runs off. But she's able to shoot him in the ass with what we later find out to be a tracking device.
Oh, I loved when he got shot in the ass. He goes, ow, fuck.
Yeah.
Ow, fuck.
And then he turns around and he's got a grenade launcher arm and he blows her the fuck up.
Right. So he makes it back to Higgins or to camp, and Higgins is there, and the gun deal is finally happening. They're all like, ha 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 ha. They've got piles of guns, piles of cash. It's like that Japanese sushi naked lady type party. Everybody's having a good time.
There's a table full of cash for Higgins. And he's like, all right, time for the cash. And like, more than that? And so everybody has to like empty their pockets. I have no idea how Higgins is going to gather this cash up. There's so much.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
But that's okay because it doesn't matter. It's time for the raffle. And you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And you can't, I thought that I spotted him before this happened. I was like, is that? No, it can't be.
Oh, yeah.
And then they're like, number 14. And he's like, hey, that's me. And you're like, oh, shit, it is you. Bruce Campbell won the raffle? What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, he wins the raffle to kill Higgins.
Ooh, clever raffle. That's what Higgins should have said. Like, this sucks for me, but that's a clever way to like really add insult to injury.
How much
Not
for the
only are you
tickets?
going to kill me, but I'm like, why didn't I get to be in the raffle? Because the winner of the raffle is you being dead.
This gang sucks. Do you guys have bingo later? Raffle. So dumb. All right, so this dude rides up, and he gives Grieco the syringer, and
This is great because he pulls up and he's like,
oh yeah,
I got the stuff that makes her. And Grieco's like, that's great, I guess. Cool. And then the guy's just bitching about his ass and it's hilarious.
yeah.
And then he's like, really though, somebody needs to pull this bullet out of my ass. And finally they're like, okay, you did pretty good. Savini pulled the bullet out of his ass. He's like, are you going to sterilize that? And then he like spits on it. And then it shows it. Like, normally you don't get to see this, but it shows this guy getting the bullet yanked out of his ass. And he's like, yeah, wow, whoa. The whole time I'm laughing my ass off.
This is a pretty funny scene. So, yeah, it's a tracker. She's there. They know she's there. She sends the bike in solo, and the guy that got the bullet shoved out of his ass is like, go check that out. And so he walks over there, and the bike self-destructs. So she blew up her own bike to just take out one guy. Nice work.
Was already injured, but I guess he was fine because he didn't hobble over to that bike.
Yeah.
They pulled the tracker out, and he's like, oh, sweet, thanks. It's like a splinter, I guess.
Send the bike all the way in, not 40 feet away from everybody. Come on.
If the bike only barely blows up, put more bombs on it.
And so then she jumps from the rafters and she starts shooting at the gang. She blows everybody away here, except for Richard Grieco, while just standing on top of a table and not even doing cool moves, just like brrup, 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 brrup. And nobody can fucking shoot her, I guess.
She acts as if she has adverse effects to being shot after she kills most of them. She's like,
Yeah, right? So I guess she did get shot a bunch? I don't know. So Grieco comes out, and he's got the syringe, and they have some fucking, you suck, no, you suck dialogue. But it ends with her grabbing it and injecting him with the serum.
Uh-huh.
Oh, so now we're going to have this sweet, like, zombie on zombie fight. Nope.
No, he just melts.
He melts. So this whole time, the key to resurrecting the dead is to just give them Viper, I guess. Once you die, get some Viper in you.
No, if you drink Viper when you're alive, you die.
You melt.
If you pour Viper on a dead guy, undead super soldier.
Yeah, weird. I would have never guessed. But now, yeah, she's out of gas. She's running out of time, and the professor runs up. What are you doing here? And you got an option. Do you want to go on, or do you want me to let you go? And she's like, let me go.
But you asked, what are you doing here? And he goes, oh, everybody knows where their hideout is.
Yeah. These guys are really dumb criminals, so I just walked over. So later, the mayor takes the professor up to his new lab, and I guess he got a grant or something, and he's there. Yes, thanks, mayor. But the whole time he's fiddling with this white rose, and she talked about how nobody laid white roses on her grave when she died. But guess what? She's not dead.
What?
She goes to her own grave and lays white roses on her own grave and then just walks off. Wait, what?
And then there's bitchin' music.
The end. Literally says the end. Not even the end question mark.
How's she alive?
Well, clearly he's like, no. And injected her with something. Got her good enough to tie her, to put her on ice maybe, and then was like, well, you're my dead necro bang lady. So yeah, I'm not gonna just let you go. And then the mayor's like, here's a bunch of cash, and so he reformulated the serum so that it makes her like forget every day that she's undead. And so her putting the flowers on her grave is like the end of the memento puzzle. She's finally pieced it together, but then she's about to go back to sleep and forget everything again.
But is she still like super zombie? Or is she just normal?
No,
I don't understand what happens now.
Yeah. Well, he bangs her.
Well, that leads me to my next question. Did he have sex with her dead body?
Before?
I'm thinking
after?
every time she dies, he has sex with her dead body, is my answer.
During that transition phase?
Yeah, like he shook her until she's dead, brings her back to his lab, has sex with her, turns her into a zombie cop.
Oh, so injects her after the sex.
After the sex with the dead body.
So straight
part.
up necrophilia. Not even like, well, I mean, she's on her way back. Sure, she doesn't technically have any brain functions, but her heart is beating.
When she asks him in the movie, what would it be like to kiss a dead person, he looks down and goes, I wouldn't know. He had sex with her dead body.
I think after he shot her, that there's like a window, well, again, where there's no brain activity. She's just but, you know, she's got a pulse. That heart is pumping. So, you know, because otherwise it'd be all cold and icky, you know. Dead bodies would be cold, clammy. Ugh. But
That's why Don Johnson's only looking for a heartbeat.
Right, yeah, you get that heartbeat going. Who needs brain activity? You know? That's what I'm saying.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so he did. Yes. But, you know, what is life and what is death, Sam? What is love? Baby, don't hurt me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, he's a bad guy.
He's a bad guy. My third and final question. How does the future of Metro City look?
Bleak.
Yeah.
The mayor's still the mayor.
Yeah, and now they've got a facility to create an army of undead super cops.
Yeah, exactly. And her ratings before Super Cop, Undead Super Cop, was 33%. That's pretty bad. You're not going to win your next election at 33%. But then after crime went to an all-time low, her ratings went through the roof. But then there's still Grieco's gang is out there. Now Grieco's gang is gone, so crime is at an even lower all-time low. She's got to have an approval rating of like 80%, so she's clearly getting reelected.
Sure, she gets reelected. Then,
and she's back.
Since there's no more gangs to shoot after the election, the zombie super cops just kill all of the constituents, and she doesn't have to worry about running a campaign next time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, when they don't have a villain to vilify, they got to look elsewhere. You know, I didn't say anything when they came for Grieco's gang. I didn't say anything when they came for the mortuary people. Now somebody's not saying anything for me. I'm dead. And now I'm a super cop. But I do have to have sex with this guy. It's weird. Weird relationship. You know, life is funny.
You just don't really understand the professor. He's complicated.
Yeah. Life is funny, and so is death, actually.
He's also a necrophiliac.
Details. Okay. Am I dead? I don't know. You know, but my butt sure does hurt.
Oh, unrelated. I didn't put anything in there. You should see somebody about that. I know a good undead proctologist.
Oh man. Yeah, okay. So wow. Yeah, I don't have any questions. I think you had some good ones, so I'm going to let you take over from there. Final recommendations on this. It's your film, so I'll go first. Man, I want to like this movie, but I kind of don't. This is the second time I've seen it, and the only thing I ever remember about it is Bruce Campbell. It's got its moments, but at the same time, I just hate mid-90s fucking action movies. I just hate them. The trench coats and the leather and everything's dark and everybody's like, you suck, no, you suck. And like, these people are fighting over nothing. I don't know. It's a do for me, but you don't need to see it twice.
I think why you just gave it a do is the main reason to give it a do, because of all of the sea of bullshit. If you hate that sea of bullshit, watch this, the byproduct of that sea of bullshit.
Yeah. It's
like, and also, this has got to be one of the only times that Grieco really gets to go full blast.
Oh man, he's an 11 the whole time.
Yeah, I've only seen it the once. I really liked it because I was like, man, Grieco, you are terrible.
He's awful. He is so bad. I mean, Grieco's probably worth the price of admission, but once you, like I say, I'm just barely over the fence on it, but yeah, I understand. Speaking of streaming do's and don'ts, we've got a couple this week, which we haven't done in a long time. Starting with a failed attempt for an episode that we did last week, starring Patrick Swayze in 1987's Tiger Warsaw.
Okay, where I was wanting to talk about what I'm calling the Easter debacle of 21. For a long time, I've been kind of pushing that we take the Easter weekend off because I got the egg hunt and then my mom does a thing, and it's just like this super packed weekend for me on Easter. Right. And then we have a friend that always has a birthday that weekend too, and it's just like, I can't get anything done on Easter. And even leading up to this Easter week, I didn't have a lot of time because I'm planning all this stuff. And I just was like, man, we're on a good run with these Swayze things. And I just remember the poster to Tiger Warsaw when I'm a kid. Mm-hmm. And I remember at one point, some kid's like, we should play Tiger Warsaw. And I'm like, okay. And that kid obviously didn't see this movie.
Right. How do you play Tiger Warsaw?
I've been living my whole life thinking that Tiger Warsaw was an action movie.
It is named Tiger Warsaw. It's a pretty good action movie name.
And from that, it is a great action movie name. Like, how is it not an action movie? And if it's that movie, the movie that it is, don't fucking call it that.
No shit. Call it Sword of the Deer Hunter.
His name is Chuck Wickabowski.
Right.
It's not even Tiger Warsaw.
Oh, man. I'm going to give Tiger Warsaw a don't. It's really, really shitty dinner theater version of The Deer Hunter.
Not even really The Deer Hunter. It's like that.
You take the Russian roulette out of it, but it's going for the vibe of The Deer Hunter. These people don't have a good life. He goes away, comes back, tries to find his happiness again and forgiveness. And I guess that doesn't happen in The Deer Hunter. It does here,
No.
but yeah.
The one commonality is that like Pittsburgh in the 80s had to be awful.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say that it's like a really crappy but actors playground version of Clean and Sober with Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's a rehab movie. And so on with everything else that happened with no episode last week, it's because I actually made the worst pick in the history of the program, and we all thought it was going to be Jackie.
Yeah, no shit, huh? Yeah, nothing happens. I guess he's terrible in it. You could show up for Swayze's SMABFA award, I guess, but that's not. I mean, no, just don't ever watch Tiger Warsaw. There's nothing there. It's dinner theater. Blah.
About rehab.
Yeah, about rehab. Where you're supposed to feel shitty and forgive this guy, but the whole time you're like, I don't even really know what's going on. Did you also catch the when he flashes back to whatever happened that one night? Like the sound of Pac-Man running around is playing.
The post-production team on that movie ran amok. Did you notice all of the cuts with sounds that were linked together and things like that? Like, that was very, everyone wanted it to be super artistic and none of it works together.
And I still don't even know what happened. Like, what happened during the Pac-Man murders? That's what I called him. I thought he shot his family or something, but they're all alive. And then it turns out his sister was just like, he was touching me. And Dad's like, you know he wasn't touching you. Yeah, he wasn't touching me. And they, like, threw him out anyways. And they put her on a pedestal. Also, that's President Jocelyn from Battlestar.
Yeah, she's hot.
Yeah.
Mary McDonnell.
Mary McDonnell.
Yeah, so that's what happens in Tiger Warsaw. Is a kid gets caught jacking off to his sister undressing. It scars them both. He gets on drugs, and then he's trying to steal from his dad, and they catch him, so he shoots and makes off for 20 years and then comes back, and everybody's fine. It was tough to watch.
Yeah, it was do not. No, I don't know if you got a chance to get to this yet or not, Sam, but I'm going to go ahead and do a do or do not on Kong vs. Godzilla, currently streaming on HBO Max and in theaters. We could have actually even made this a sort of field trip episode because it technically is in theaters.
I've been reading something about that, like, Dune's not going to be on HBO Max. They're like, nope, Godzilla killed it at the theater, so we're just going to put stuff back in the theaters. I'm like, that is how bad people want to go back to the theater?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it turns out, man, Kong versus Godzilla is something else. I don't even know how to describe it because it shouldn't have worked. Obviously, 2014's Godzilla was a serious piece of shit that we all hated. Won many SMABFAs, mostly for its boringness. And then you were cold on King of the Monsters, right?
Which was King of the Monsters?
The one with Ghidorah, last Godzilla.
The one that has the Olsen twins' younger sister?
Not Ghidorah. No, that was the first one.
You're talking about Gojira?
This one had Millie Brown. Millie Brown. And,
I didn't think I fucking watched that.
And Cranston.
No, I did.
Cranston was in it? Or was Cranston in the first one?
Cranston was in
the
that
first
one.
Yeah.
And then it was the
Monster Zero, not Ghidorah.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as the one with the Olsen twins' younger sister.
Yeah.
That I hold the benchmark as if you're gonna make a movie about something, that something maybe should be in the movie.
Yeah, it's Batman Returns. Batman movie that didn't have Batman in it. Yeah, no, that one sucks. I was okay with King of the Monsters. This one was fucking like almost. I want to put it on the same pedestal as Rampage, but a little bit better than Rampage. Things fucking happened in it, and it was silly, and they knew it was silly, and they were like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's put goddamn Mecha Godzilla in this. Yeah, why not? Let's do it. Let's just go for it. And it's stupid. And there's Tron in it. Fucking whose decision was to put Tron in a Godzilla movie? I stood up and I clapped.
Yeah, where is it versus Jurassic World for you?
Not in the same
Okay.
realm. Jurassic World has this charm to it.
Yeah.
That doesn't. I mean, it's no offense to Alexander Skarsgård. He's not ever going to be Chris Pratt, and BDH is so much better than God. I can't even think of the main lady in. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. Is you have this on-screen chemistry between Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard throughout that movie that is so much more fun. If you added characters to a Godzilla movie that didn't suck, because the writing of humans is always terrible in a Godzilla movie, and that's fine, then yes, it would be the same. The dumbness of it is the same, but you're missing that funness of the writing. And we don't need anybody else. That type of shit is not there. But the Kong and Godzilla stuff, top notch.
Well, I'll have to watch it then, because I figured that's the only way that you could do it, because that's what people are going to see is monsters fight, not all this other crap that they always try to put in the movies. Monsters
fight in this movie. A lot.
Good.
And it's dumb fighting. Like, it's so stupid. So dumb. I also bring it up because I think a lot of people are aware that it's stupid, but we're so desperate for just anything mindless to take us away. Our friend's 11-year-old daughter was super jacked about it. Our son was mega jacked about it because Godzilla is his favorite, so we let him watch it, and he loved it, of course. But we brought it up in the car on the way to school, and she was like, yeah, I want to go see that so I can make fun of it. I'm like, wait, you're 11, and you're going to go riff this movie? That's awesome. 11-year-olds are already like, yeah, I want to see it. Me and my friends are going, and all we're going to do is lampoon the whole damn movie. I can't wait. I was like, holy shit, this is a big deal. So this is ground zero for a lot of future riffers, this movie. So
that's good.
Yeah, so it's a mega do for me. Really liked it. You got anything, Sam?
No, my last base that I wanted to round was to call myself an idiot for picking Tiger Warsaw.
I think that's fair. I do have one more listener feedback from Klausy Satanta, who gave us the quiz last time we were all together for an episode. He says, sorry about the quiz. Sorry about the quiz. Although in my defense, I think you all had too many martinis. No way. Oh, you clever bastard. I think you all had many martinis.
Uh-huh.
No way you weren't getting over the top as sober judges. I don't know. I still think we all suck at jumble. Like, we're just bad at it.
Word jumble's my worst.
Yeah, it's terrible. I
can do square roots in my fucking head.
Yeah.
Get me in front of a game of Boggle and you'll see a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I'll clear everybody's ass at Jeopardy. I will be 0 points at Wheel of Fortune. I'll do another one in a few months if you want. I'll make it less difficult, except for the impossible maths equation. Make it dumb difficult. It's fun that way. Just to clarify, I should have been clearer. My bad. Ireland was very poor, but 99% is and was a lovely area. I grew up in a place called Tala West that was the largest and poorest council estate in Ireland and Europe. Still one of them. The Americans would call it a project, didn't have the murder rate or the gun crime you'd have in America, couldn't afford guns, ha ha ha. But plenty of knives and sharpened screwdrivers. Jesus. Tell Jackie she's awesome, even with all her racist Irish schneid comments. Okay? I usually don't get that. Hey, your racism is awesome. Okay? Is it? I know it's in jest.
Is it?
Yeah. I know it's in jest. We Irish can take a good slagging. Sure, when we see you American tourists coming over, keep us in smiles with your bun bags, sandals, shorts, socks, and as gullible as a teenager, onto the boner of a 25-year-old dancer. Keep up the good work. Get to the chopper, Clousy. Yeah, I still, like, my point isn't that Ireland is a dumpster. No, Ireland is gorgeous and filled with wondrous and awesome peoples. It's that we don't know what riots look like. That's what I was getting at. Like we don't. Oh my God, Americans are just so in their own world, like just so sheltered and also entitled, and we don't know what the rest of the world looks like. So
we're so shitty at everything we can barely riot.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way of putting it. So yeah. Anyways, next.
Like, we're getting into a minivan and stopping at fucking McDonald's on the way. That's Americans rioting. Well, we're gonna get hungry.
Hold my
We should eat
Starbucks.
now. Who has to go to the bathroom?
Okay. What are we doing next week, Sam?
I believe Tucker is picking next week, so I don't know what the movie is yet.
All right. Well, as usual, stand by. We'll get you something good, and in the meantime, get to the chopper.